After weeks of waiting, the centre will finally begin the rollout of COVID vaccines by the 14th of January. 4 primary vaccine depots and 37 stores have been set up across the country to streamline the distribution. The vaccines will be airlifted from the manufacturing hubs and moved to respective states before finally being delivered to the local health centres. The CoWIN app has been developed to ensure the registration of beneficiaries. The entire process of scheduling the vaccine doses will be done digitally. In addition to this, provisions have been made for real-time reporting of any adverse effects post-inoculation.
जिस भी दिन हम चाहेंगे EUA के 10 दिन के भीतर हम उसको EUA का अर्थ है इमरजेंसी यूज़ ऑथराइजेशन, ये बोलचाल की भाषा में शब्द प्रयुक्त होता है। हमारे मीडिया के मित्र इसी शब्द का उपयोग करते हैं। हमारे कानून में एक्सेलरेटेड अप्रूवल फ्रेज का इस्तेमाल किया गया है। तो जिस भी दिन हुआ, जैसे अब आप जानते हैं कि किस दिन हुआ, उस दिन से 10 दिन के भीतर में ये रोल आउट होने की पूरी तैयारी है।
Now, while the big rollout is planned for the 14th of January, the big question is, how can an individual get vaccinated? My colleague Ayushman Jamwal explains.
So the big question is, how do you or I get vaccinated? What is the infrastructure that has been put in place for that vaccination drive? Let's take you through that point by point. First, register on the CoWIN website or app. That's the first step. Second, get allocated a session on a due date. Number three, present Aadhaar ID to verify your credentials. Then get vaccinated by the team at the site. Afterwards, receive a unique QR code via SMS, and then later get a vaccination certificate from the QR code and then save the vaccination in a DigiLocker app. So that is the process how you and I will get vaccinated.
Sneha Mordani is now joining us with more details. But Sneha, put that into perspective. For the not so vulnerable category like you and I, our date of vaccination is going to come much later, isn't it, right?
Yes, absolutely. I would expect, Maha, sometime around the month of March or so. You know why? Because the front-runner vaccine, which of course has the approval right now, and the doses of the same will be rolled out in 10 days from now, is Covishield. The developers of Covishield, the CEO of Serum Institute of India, did tell us in an interview that March is when he expects the vaccine to be introduced in the market, of course at a market rate. So for you and me to then go and access this vaccine from a hospital or from a pharmacy, if at all that is something that's going to be allowed. I don't know who's going to be authorized to then vaccinate the people. That is something that should be happening around the month of March. Doses wise, that doesn't seem to be a problem. 50 million doses have been rolled out from Kasauli already, with the batch testing has been done. Adar Poonawala did say that the capacity of Serum Institute of India, and we know it's the largest vaccine manufacturing company in the world, is 500 doses a minute. That's how they're developing it. And in the month of March, we'll not just be looking at Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute. We'll also have the option, remember, of Sputnik V, which is also doing its bridging studies in India. By then, they might just have more data for this to show that the vaccine perhaps is effective, and then it might just have the approval. What about the other companies? We have other vaccines as well. Biological Ease vaccine in the first phase. Genova Biopharmaceuticals vaccine, again, it is in the first phase. We also could be staring at a situation where Pfizer, when it does make a presentation before the subject expert committee, gets an approval to introduce its vaccine in the market, perhaps after its bridging studies. All of that could happen in a period of 1 or 2 months, so it's a scenario by month of March we will be having quite a few vaccines, is what I think. If not 5 or 6, definitely more than 2.
Sneha, also in other countries we've seen some of the top people who are in charge of the situation. For instance, in America, Dr. Fauci has himself taken a jab publicly so that people get that required confidence to take the vaccine. Are we likely to see anything on those lines happening here in India?
There is a possibility. When the H1N1 vaccine was developed just 10 years ago, I remember this very well, that the then Union Health Minister Ghulam Nabi Azad had taken it and he did say that, look, this is safe, I'm taking it. I don't know for sure if this government is also going to organize something to that effect, but what I know is that the optics of this is going to be centered around making an effort to address vaccine hesitancy, which has picked up in the country, and how a lot of people are wary, obviously, because of the manner in which the vaccine has been developed over a record period of time. There are anyway a lot of people who say that, at least for the time being, we'll wait it out. I think the effort is going to be to address that problem. We already have a communication strategy document in place that the center has shared with the states to give them an idea about how to address vaccine hesitancy. Maha, you cover MEA, you yourself know that the center is also going to rope in the Ministry of External Affairs to then engage with journalists from international publications, for example. Also get our embassies and consulates in the loop to tell them about this mass vaccination drive and how everything is going to be done as per the international protocol of safety. So I think that is the kind of effort that's going to be made to address this problem. And you know, your question about who then is going to get the shot first, I think whatever they decide, it is going to be keeping in mind that they have to address vaccine hesitancy and instill faith in people about the vaccine, and that's what they're going to do then.
All right, Sneha, stay on with us, because let's try to explain to our viewers the process that is already underway. As Sneha was pointing out, that the doses are ready. They now have to reach the particular centers where the inoculations will start from the 14th of January. So what's this process looking like at the moment? First of all, these are the 4 primary vaccine depots in Karnal, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. From these 4 depots, now the supply will start to the rest of the centers. This supply will happen to the vaccination sites from the depots, and finally the inoculation will take place of 3 crore beneficiaries initially. These beneficiaries include the frontline healthcare workers as well as some of the senior citizens with comorbidities who are the most vulnerable of the group. So that's how this process is going to start. Even though the inoculations will start on the 14th of January, this process is already underway, considering that on the 14th of January, the process is going to start simultaneously on several centers. Meanwhile, as India is gearing up for the big vaccine rollout, what matters really is the need that it's safe and efficient. Virologist and Professor of Microbiology, Dr. Gagandeep Kang, spoke with CNN News 18 on this.
We finally have a date, 13th or 14th. You were one of the first to question the authorization of Covaxin. We have now heard from Bharat Biotech. Do you agree with the defense that they have put out, doctor? And is having a date a good thing or a bad thing?
You know, I've worked with Bharat Biotech for close to 12 years now. They're a great company, great products, great science. And for Covaxin, they actually have a truly nicely designed phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 testing strategy. And I hope that they will go through all of those phases of testing and get full licensure. I hope that their product is a good one, that it's safe and it's efficacious. And right now, all the signals are that that's what we will have.
Okay.
However, when we think about vaccine licensure, there are 3 things that are required of a vaccine: that it is safe, it is efficacious, and it's high quality.
Now, as we inch closer to the rollout, the Health Ministry has answered the questions related to the coronavirus vaccine, and we put them out here for you.
Who will get the vaccine first?
Healthcare workers will get it first, then other frontline workers, then elderly people with comorbidities.
Are the vaccines safe?
All vaccines that have been introduced in the country have been done so only after their safety and efficacy is cleared.
Is the vaccine mandatory?
Vaccination for COVID-19 is voluntary, but is strongly advised.
Is the vaccine in India effective?
Yes, these vaccines are as effective as those introduced in other countries.
Am I eligible for vaccination?
All eligible beneficiaries will be informed in due time.
Can I get vaccinated without registration?
No, registration is mandatory to get vaccinated.
Are there side effects from the vaccine?
Only basic symptoms such as mild fever and pain are to be expected.
How many doses are to be taken?
There will be 2 doses needed, separated by an interval of 28 days.
When will antibodies develop?
Antibodies to fight the virus usually develop 2 weeks after the second dose.
Politics is peaking